Arch Tempered Rey Dau's most powerful attack is nothing in the face of immortality.
How hilarious is that?
Hello, my fellow hunters, and welcome then to a little update on our immortal build. And I must say, it did warm mine heart to see so many comments pop up on the title update 1 immortal build along the lines of, "This made Arch Tempered Rey Dau pathetic." That's what I like to hear, my friends. That's some happy hunting indeed. Now, I honestly did not expect Arch Tempered Rey Dau to kind of do anything for the immortal build, because we knew that Arch Tempered generally are the original armor set just a bit better, and Rey Dau armor was never very, defensive. But I had a little bit of hope, because Gamma armor tends to have high raw defense, so if I can weave something in there, maybe there is some promise. There should come a day where we eventually drop down to just 2 sets of shia, because we have 3 other so good armor pieces, it's actually worth using and cutting the healing in half. However, it is not this day. But Rey Dau has given us something that, honestly, when I saw it, was the most exciting part of the entire little mini monster update for me. And that is the legendary, the mythical, the game-changing
Defense Talisman 5! Yes, anyway.
This is simply 1 extra rank of defense, but it does a lot for the immortal set and makes it the most neatest, loveliest little parcel of skills. So today I'm not exactly bringing you a new immortal build, but I am bringing you an immortal update, because wherever we can make improvements, I feel duty bound to share them with you as my fellow unkillable, uncartable, unstoppable brethren. So, without further ado then, let's get into this properly. Oh, and by the way, just in case you've not been convinced by the hilarious hunt in the background, where he literally can't do anything to me while I wail on him, and I ended up with like a 9-minute kill, while obviously never needing to touch a health potion. It's so funny. He actually feels easier with the immortal than even Xochitl, but here is 5 entire minutes of full AFK against Arch Tempered Rey Dau. And to, clarify by AFK, I mean literally not moving or healing. I'm obviously sat there because I'm watching the footage get recorded for those few smartasses in the comments. In any case, all jokes aside, this is just wonderful. We've actually achieved the holy grail of the monster has gotten so bored at trying to kill us, it's actually left the zone.
Fuck you!
So I do want to touch on then the Gamma armor, just to kind of go over it. Obviously, I said it doesn't really do anything for immortal, and it doesn't. It's got high base defense, which is nice, but the actual slot space on it is kind of garbage for a defensive set. You kind of need the trifecta of recovery up, recovery speed, divine blessing on a defensive set, not to mention the full defense 7, though the talisman carries 5 of it past that, and you simply can't do it even just using 3 pieces to at least get Lord Soul. But I do kind of want to talk about Lord Soul, because it is potentially interesting here. Obviously we get 5% less defense while it's active, but if we do actually trigger the guts, then we get 5% more defense. So in theory this would lead to a really high total defense, but the issue is, outside of the actual skill space situation, is you can't really get one shot from above the threshold to trigger it while immortal. So it's actually really difficult for this to ever happen, and then if you do, well, you then have to heal up manually, which is of course heresy to Immortal, and it just kind of doesn't work in practice. It's a real shame. I was kind of hoping something could happen when I read it, but just so you know. It's also a double shame because Latent Power is actually a really good Immortal build skill. We don't really care about taking damage while in Immortal, so we activate it really easily, and then a potential 50% unconditional affinity. Yeah, that's really nice. If in the future we actually get better ways to work that into the kind of core skills that we need, I wouldn't be complaining, but Arch Tempered Rey Dau is not the one to do it. And the really damning thing about the defense increase of triggering Lord Soul is that level 3 defense boost, which is 3 level 1 slots, is plus 5% defense, which is the same. So, yeah, don't get me wrong, I would like it just for free on top, but there's no world in which it's the way to go. Finally then, let's update the set. As I said, it's not changed armor pieces wise. We still use the 4-piece shia for the level 2 super recovery, and the Suja sash for the lovely efficiency and the divine blessing, giving us essentially perfect skills when it comes to being immortal, including a really healthy amount of offensiveness in the agitator, counter-strike, and maximum might. Obviously, if you're not a maximum might weapon user, then you want to swap those mighty decorations around, but other than that, this is pretty much perfect, except it couldn't quite be perfect because we had to use 3 defense decorations to finish defense, leaving recovery up at level 2. Now, that wasn't the end of the world because you can eat for the honey with regular barbecue yourself meal food, and that gives you a fake rank of recovery up, making it level 3, and it doesn't stack, so we could force it, but that meant not being able to eat a feast. So now that this defense charm is level 5, we can drop one of the defense decorations, keep level 7, and are you ready for the greatest upgrade update in the world? Absolute colossal changes! We can now put in that recovery up, giving this loveliness. Your divine blessing, your recovery up, your recovery speed, your defense, and the bonus elemental absorption, which is just so tasty. As far as I'm concerned, this is one of the most beautiful lists of skills I think I have ever seen in Monster Hunter. Oh, so yeah, that is all we do. Swap a defense deco for a recovery up one, and otherwise it's the same set. Shia weapons are still very much viable with Immortal, especially on slower hunts, and honestly Arch Rey is a pretty good one to use it on, so feel free to do that if you're still loving how it looks. And there we are. Use your Rocksteady if you're going all out attack, or use your Mending Mantle if you want as much passive immortality as possible. In any case then, there is one more thing of note that I just sort of alluded to, and that is thus. As I said before now, what we had to do was use ourselves the honey for the medic meal, which was essentially +1 recovery up. So because we have finally got past that little annoyance here, we can now finally eat feast properly in the Immortal build, which means we get that +10 all element resist, an extra 10 defense, the full +5 attack, which is actually a really nice little upgrade all round, especially the +10 element resist. You need to eat a feast that has defender meal high, so we essentially get the second lot of divine blessing 3, which means Kunafa is your base one, or indeed the current Blossom Dance, if it's still around at the time of you seeing this, also has it, though I do prefer the springy Kunafa for the lucky. In any case, yeah, that's a nice little upgrade, and honestly what makes this most meaningful to actually be bringing you and telling you guys. Alright then, ladies and gentlemen. And there we have it. Remember, use whichever weapon you want. This works for all 14 weapons. Adjust the decorations as needed. You know the Immortal drill. Other than that, we are done for now. I really look forward to see what Title Update 2 brings for this playstyle. Any new quirky skills we might be able to make work for defensive purposes. I am going to be there because really it is just so much fun. Let me know how you're finding Arch Rey in the Immortal. I know a lot of you have had a great time, but I would love to hear more stories of its triumph. But for now, Well, happy immortal hunting. Like if you enjoyed this, subscribe and hit the bell for more. Consider supporting the future of the channel on Patreon down below. And until we meet again, a goodbye.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.